We are live.
Hi, guys.
Yay! Hey, everybody. If anyone's here yet, I can never tell.
Yeah, me neither. I always have to go to YouTube because StreamYard shows up like later.
It does. It's on a delay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have some people watching. Welcome to our... Oh!
Shows up like later. Oh, did mine start talking too? Oh, no, I muted mine. Cool.
That was me. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, Denise. Oh, I feel like I have been holding my breath for the past 2 weeks. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. But anyways, let me go ahead and do the intro before we start talking. So everybody, welcome to Black Prose Podcast, where Black lives, Black voices, and Black stories have always mattered. My name is Oshale of Oshi Reads here on YouTube, on Instagram. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm Brittany, aka Melanin Eclectic, owner of Melanin Eclectic LLC. I'm Melanin Eclectic on every platform, including Shop Melanin Eclectic's Instagram.
Yes. And we are representing Black Prose Club tonight. Our lovely Troy Nicole is on hiatus. And I am showing my face because I actually blow dried my hair today. Otherwise, I would be also like no video showing as well.
Meanwhile, I currently have conditioner in my hair and I'm like putting the first top coat on to paint my nails.
I thought about that. I was like, if I show up on camera, that means I can't do my nails.
That's what it's been a thing where like every Sunday, it's been like a peaceful thing to just sit down and paint my nails. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just sit. I was like, I got conditioner in my hair right now anyway. Don't feel like putting on a scarf. Let's just go ahead and paint them.
It's okay. I will represent for the both of us.
I appreciate you. I also have no problem honestly saying that I just don't have the desire to look presentable today.
You know what's interesting? Hi Reads with Rachel. Hi Bethany. I feel like ever since quarantine, it has become more socially acceptable to not dress up as much.
Right. I have noticed that.
Like, I mean, streetwear was already like pretty much on trend, like wearing sweatpants and like streetwear was like, normal. Because remember when we were growing up, like you could not leave the house in your sweatpants, pajama pants, like nothing like that. Like, I mean, if you were going to like, there were certain places where it was acceptable, right? Like football games, sporting events, amusement parks. But other than that, if you were just going out to eat or going here and going there, it was like unacceptable, at least in my family, to appear outside of the house dressed down to that degree. And now it's like streetwear is popping. You can wear like sweats and it's like trendy now to wear sweats to like brunch or pretty much anywhere. And I've noticed ever since quarantine, like we've taken it even a step below that. I see people in like pajama pants out and it's like, okay.
Man, I can't do it. I just like, it's like, I'm happy everybody else can, but all I hear is my mother. Like, I know you are not going outside.
Right.
Like that.
Oh, I feel the same way. Like there's a certain line that I can't cross. Like even when I wear sweatpants, like they have to be like chic. Like they can't be raggedy. They have
it's like they have to match. They have to match the shirt that I'm wearing, and like I have to have like a decent pair of sneakers or something on. Like I'm still trying to let go of that feeling because like why do we have that feeling in the first place? But at the same time, I also feel like I'll be looking good in my casual wear now. So it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off, and like I also feel that I always have the worst luck because whenever I decided to just be a bum, that's when I run into people that I would never want to see when I'm looking like a bum.
To be honest, I feel like at that point, you just got to pretend like you meant to look like you had a hard day. Like
you're just trying to play it off like,
right. It's like, oh, hey, no, I just came back from the gym.
Right, right.
Man, flip-flops at church, I could never. Flip-flops
you were bold.
I know, right? Think about,
do you remember?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, because this just makes me think, like, I went to a church where if you were on the first 3 rows and you were wearing a shirt or a skirt that when you sat down, it came up to above your knees, the altar people came by with a cloth for you.
I hated those stupid cloths. I was like, bro, I can't, like, I'm 5'8". This is a spring dress. And I have the booty of a woman at the age of like 13. Y'all gonna have to just take these kneecaps.
It was like so scandalous for your knees to be showing. It's like, but only the first 3 rows. If you were sitting anywhere else in the church, it was fine.
Like, I used to be so mad at that. Or like at my grandma's church, it was like, you can't be showing your shoulders. And I was like, but at what point did y'all determine that shoulders were scandalous?
Right. There were certain body parts that looking back are so innocent, but it was like, you better dare not. Like, you better have like some type of shawl across your shoulders, across your lap. It was a mess.
Oh my gosh. I went to a Kojic church once and walked straight back out.
Wait, what is that?
Church of God in Christ.
Oh, they're very strict.
They are very strict. And I didn't know that I had walked into a Kojic church, and like one of the mothers came up to me and basically like scolded me for what I had on. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing this. And I just left. Like, I was like, God understands.
I think that was one of the things that attracted me to the church that I ended up like, the church that kind of reignited my spiritual journey when I was in my 20s, early 20s, was Hillsong Church, even though, Lord, they have been exposed.
I was finna say, boy, oh boy.
I went to that church with Carl Lentz, that pastor that has been, we won't go into it. Yeah. But that was my church because I lived in New York. And I just remember being drawn to it because of the image. Like, Pastor Carl wore like a leather jacket and like ripped jeans, and like you could wear jeans to church. Everybody was coming mad casual. You saw people with tattoos, piercings, like hair color, like things that would have never flown in the church that I grew up going to. So there was like such a sense of like freedom and just individuality and just be your own person. And the common denominator is Jesus and Christ, but everybody else had their own like look and style and vibe. And that was one of the biggest things that drew me to going to that church, was just how cool, quote unquote, cool it was, or how relaxed it was, in the sense of you never felt a need to come dressed a certain way. Like, you could just literally, you could come from like a yoga class and go to church and nobody batted an eyelash.
They took the statement, come as you are, like by its genuine
literally.
Listen, I thought the same thing when you said Hillsong. I was like, not Bieber's faster.
You don't understand. So, I'll say this because I don't want to go into it, like what happened with him, because that's not really what we're here to talk about. That. But I will say that I was on the email list that got that email about him being fired. I mean, I'm sure thousands of people were on that email list, but because that was my church at one time, I was on the email list. And when I tell you, me and my BFF Brooke, who both attended that church, literally hit speed dial at the same time to each other, like, yo, did you get that email? Shook. Okay. We were like, what's going on?
Right.
But anyways,
that's hilarious.
Move on from that because we're here to talk about joyous things.
Okay, so the question to you and our viewers of today, we know it has been a lot of rough times lately, just being Black and trying to exist. And like, we can't even grieve without being critiqued. We can't do any of that. So today, what are the things that you have been doing to protect your peace, or to find some sense of peace that you feel you'd like to share?
Okay. That's a great question. I have essentially kind of mentally logged off the online sphere. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't, okay, I'll say it this way. Social media used to be my escape.
Mm.
And it used to be where I went on to kind of just like look at pretty pictures and indulge in like book reviews and people in cute outfits and people's cute little like mommy bloggers and their cute little babies and stuff like that. And while I like appreciate how much change has come out of, you know, just being vocal and the Black Lives Matter movement really getting a spotlight and us really being able to speak our truth on there, it can get very dark.
Mm.
And when your feed is all the same and you follow kind of all the same type of accounts and things like that, it can kind of become like an echo chamber of that darkness. Right. And on one hand, while it's like really amazing that we have this like movement going on online and people are really coming together and speaking out and all that kind of thing, it can also be very heavy.
Yeah.
So I took the time to just take a step back, not to mention like, I'm also I'm a lot of bit tired of like the performative activism that's going on.
Ooh, shoot.
And it's just exhausting. Like, I'm just like, okay, so yes, repost this meme 85 times. What have you done? But
okay.
we won't go into that because again, we're here to
say, I'm not ranting today, but Lord knows when I have the energy, I think I'm gonna start dragging people by name.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Because I'm so tired.
Oh, yes, it is absolutely a 24-hour news cycle and it's just exhausting. So I just had to log off.
It's totally okay to mute people.
Yes. I was like, you know what? I have like my news alerts are on. I have like the basic headlines of what's going on. And I will take a look at those and I will take a moment to hold that in. But I'm going to log off collectively. I'm going to spend time. Like I spent a lot of time spring cleaning, which has been very therapeutic. Just like, you know, dusting and moving things around and like meticulously folding clothes. Cause you know, like half of us when we do laundry, like shit just doesn't get folded for weeks.
Bro, my whole couch is covered right now from laundry from 2 weeks ago. So,
so like actually taking the time to like fold things in like the way that they fold shit at like, you know, TJ
the way your mama taught you how to fold clothes versus like the way you fold clothes.
Right. Like I'm doing like the retail level of foldage.
Oh,
and just,
wow.
Yes. And just like taking that time away. I've been doing like a lot of audio booking. For some reason, I don't have the attention span to sit down in one place and read.
Me neither.
But I've been listening to audiobooks. And the one audiobook that I've been listening to, y'all, that if you are into nonfiction and autobiographical stuff, all I have to say is Matthew McConaughey's audiobook.
What?
Is gold.
That is not what I was expecting to hear at all. I really thought you was about to drop a Black Queen's name, and then you dropped Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. The first, like, 2 chapters of his audiobook was so overgrandizing of himself and so overly self-indulgent and used so many damn, like, synonyms. I was like, I didn't know whether I should laugh or cry, but it just brought me, it was like the level of absurdity that I needed. And then when he started talking about his like home life and how crazy his family life was, I was like, this is gold. I have struck gold. Just like loving it. I'm obsessed. It's so good. It's so good.
Again, I am not the biggest fan of Matthew McConaughey. This is what I thought as well.
Okay, look, he literally starts, this is the kind of stuff that you can find in Matthew McConaughey's life story about how his parents got married and then divorced and then married and then divorced and then married.
To each other?
About how one night his parents got into a fight. And I take it, he's from Texas, I believe. And so he's like good old country boy. I think it's Texas, but his parents, this is when he was a small child. There are 3 kids in his family, including him. I think 3 or 4, whatever. Details don't matter in this audiobook. Details don't matter. But his dad came home from a long day at work, like his huge, like 200 plus pound father. And his mom was pissed at his dad for whatever reason and just like slams his dinner in front of him and is like, here's your fucking dinner. And like, she's like cursing at him. And it gets to a point where he gets so tired of her that they literally start fighting and she comes at him with a knife.
Oh. This sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Oh, it gets better. And so she starts trying to literally like stab this man, and he keeps dodging her, and apparently eventually he wears her out, and then she starts crying, and then they embrace, and then they just have sex on the floor of the kitchen, all while the kids are there watching it all go down.
Wait.
This is the kind of entertainment you all need.
What? I just like the way that this escalated into just
I'm telling you, go and get it. You will not regret it. And Aaron, Jessica Simpson's audiobook is so good.
Like, what? I agree, Read, Love, Listen. What kind of soap opera is this?
I literally was listening to it. The first time I started listening to it, I listened to it on the way to work, and I literally had to sit in the parking lot for a moment and try to decide where this was just like what I was listening to was incredibly abusive and toxic, and if I could continue to support this, or
like if I should bit of both.
If I should just keep going for the entertainment. Because I had gotten to the part where when his older brother became a man, his father gave his older brother a man test and challenged him to a fight and kept trying to hit him. And the older brother was like, "Pop, I don't want to fight you, Pop. I don't want to fight you, Pop." And his dad was like trying to like beat him up with the pipe.
This really sounds like a movie that he like acted in more than his life. Are you serious?
The older brother had to knock the dad out with a steel pipe.
What?
And he thought he had killed his father. And then when his father came to, he grabbed him and hugged him. He was like, "My boy, you're a man now."
Matthew McConaughey grew up in a terrible home, is what we're gathering.
Like, make this stuff up. I was like, this is like pure gold. What?
CPS? Hello? Are you there?
I don't know. It's that place where you're just like, I don't know if I can continue this and still be okay, but somehow it's bringing me the level of escapism I need right now. So
this is just so weird. Like, again, I really was not expecting you to say that you've been listening to Matthew McConaughey's memoir. And not only that, but apparently he out here living the young and the crazy, because his whole family was a hotmess.com sprinkled in nuts.
Like, and he narrates it himself, so you can just imagine.
Of course he narrates it. Sometimes when I hear about like celebrities' lives, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like how are you like yeah, I know you're a celebrity, but like how are you a sober celebrity? Wow. Matthew McConaughey is a question.
Okay,
I'm sorry, that made me laugh.
There's this one last part that I just have to tell y'all about, because if this doesn't convince you to go listen to this, I don't know what will. So
I'm not. I'm just letting you know now. But
you're not?
Nope. No, thank you.
So his mom, the way he describes his mom, it sounds like she was crazy, and that's putting it lightly. But anyway, so she essentially, he's always been into writing since he was a little kid. He's always kept journals, which is a lot of what this autobiography comes from, is all the journals that he's kept over his lifetime.
Oh, wow.
So when he was a little boy, he decided he was going to enter a poetry contest that was going on at his school. So he wrote a poem and he brought it to his mom, and he was like, "Look at my poem, Mom." And his mom was like, "Okay, it's all right." Basically saying he could do better. So he went back to his room, worked on it, and came back again with the poem and was like, "How about this time?" And his mom was like, "Let me show you something." And his mom takes out a book with somebody else's work in it and shows him a poem in that book. And his mom was like, "Write that." And Matthew McConaughey was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Write that." And he was like, "But Mom, that's somebody else's work. That's not my poem." And then his mom goes, "Do you like it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I like it. It's good." And he was like, "So now it's yours. So write that."
Bro, that sounds like what? Never mind.
He wrote it and he won.
So he colonized a poem. How unfair.
All right. Like, what is happening? Oh God.
Wow. Then you bring up a good point. Maybe the reason why he's such a good actor is because the escapism. He is a good actor. I will give him his credit where credit is due. I don't know. If I'm gonna listen to a troubled childhood, I'm gonna listen to somebody else.
I understand.
But ironically, speaking of journaling, I've been journaling, but I have been art journaling.
Okay.
Which is a journal that will never show up on YouTube or anywhere. But basically, I have this notebook that's this really cheap ass paper. Like, it sucks. It's a very, very crappy. Also, Erin specified she wanted a full review of this book. So go ahead and write that down on your to-do list, because I too would love to hear your take on this. But yeah, I've been art journaling. So I just like paint, or sometimes I just put paint on the page and then I put like a sticker over it or some type of construction paper. It almost looks like I want a scrapbook, and then sometimes I write words or like a scripture or something in it. That's been like my me time. And then also I moved around my library already.
Okay.
I have a lot of boxes in my office because I recycle a lot of the boxes that I get my supplies in. But it's gotten to a point where there's just too many boxes. So I'm actually, today I broke down a lot of boxes and put them in my recycle bin because Melanin Eclectic recycles. I'm in the process. I've decided while I'm stressed out that Melanin Eclectic is going to go more eco-friendly.
Oh, nice.
So
one more thing.
Yeah, my therapist was like, is there a reason that you feel like better when you do a lot of things? And I was like, doing a lot of things makes me feel like I have control of the situation. And I was like, even if the situation is people really don't care about us just because we're Black, like, it's okay, because now Melanin is eco-friendly. Does that make sense? No, but it gives my brain something else to do instead of just feeling that constant weight on my chest every day.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, we're going to go eco-friendly. Like, we'll probably be full eco-friendly by the summer, but I won't announce it until the summer. But like, that's what we're in the process of doing. Like, I've already bought paper envelopes to test out for a couple of orders. And I was like, we're going to see if this works, like more eco, less plastic, because there apparently is an eco-friendly plastic.
Ooh.
That is expensive as crap. So we won't be doing that.
Yeah, no.
It's like, But, and then Melanin Eclectic also decided that we're going to figure out a way to get this laser cutter in her house.
Oh, so really?
I actually I've been watching tons of videos about laser cutters, and I've learned 3 major things. 1, buying the air filter is a necessity so you don't die from random fumes that accumulate from laser cutting.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like you can buy the air filter, but then like still put it by the window.
Right.
And you can't leave the laser cutter just to do its job. It could possibly catch on fire if it's not like,
oh my goodness,
correct. And I was just like, do I want to risk burning down my house for Melanin Eclectic?
Not after how hard you worked on this home.
To be honest, I still want to try it.
Oh my God. You're like, it's worth it.
I mean, I've been talking to other shop owners. Well, there are certain shop owners who are more than happy to answer my questions, because I'm always like, hey, like, can I pay for some of your time to ask you questions? Which, by the way, always approach a shop. If you want to ask them questions about what they do, approach them in a way where you respect their time. Don't be in my DMs asking me, how can you do what I do? That's insulting. And the fact that I haven't cussed anybody out yet is God's grace only. Like, oh my gosh, hold on.
It's your family, because they always know when you're live.
It's like they know that I'm live. Let me text them and be like, hold on.
Always your fam. It's like they have a radar. They have a radar for when we go live, and then they call it that time.
But the thing is, I'll text them and be like, hey guys, I'm recording a podcast. And they'll go, okay. And then they'll go, oh, I thought that you were finished. Like, dang, bro. Shade.
It's been 10 minutes.
Right.
Also, let me take this time to say, Please give this video a like if you're watching right now. That really helps us in the YouTube algorithms if you have not liked it already.
Did you know that we're almost at 700 subscribers?
It's so exciting.
That's so weird, right? It's like, dang, we're almost at 700.
It's really nice, especially because we haven't really poured that much attention into this channel in the sense that we don't post, every day or even every week. And we're not necessarily doing too much content on here, besides our scheduled content.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to see the support from the community and to see that we are still getting new subscribers. Like every week, people are finding us, which is great.
Yeah, we thank you guys for always coming. Like, we know that sometimes we be a little inconsistent, but y'all are always here to like chat with us and help the conversation. And
yes, we really appreciate your support, and we really appreciate our patrons. I know we don't thank y'all enough. Thank you so much for your monthly support. It really means a lot to us.
Yeah, like very soon we're going to be able to actually like do something with it, and that's going to be exciting.
Yes, it will.
Every little bit helps.
So are you watching anything interesting?
I watched Demon Slayer Mugen Train over the weekend and got my entire life. Did I roll up in the theater with a little bottle of Lysol to spray my seat down? Yes, that was also me. But
were you wearing gloves as well?
No,
and a mask. Well, I'm sure you were wearing a mask, but
I was really hoping that there was a way I could find it online, but I was like, I can't find it online. I've been waiting to see this movie for since season 1 ended, because when season 1 ended, it alluded to the movie. So we all knew this movie was coming out. It's just that COVID came before it came to the States, so Japan held it, and it is the highest grossing movie in Japan now.
Are you serious? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we go further, for us who are Demon Slayer illiterate like myself, could you give us a little background and tell us what's going on?
Yeah. So 1, Aaron, do not feel ashamed. Now I really want to know what you've been watching.
Yeah, I'm very curious now.
Demon Slayer is an anime, and it is I'm going to call it a more commercialized anime because a lot of people have watched it, because I think you can watch it on the first season is on Hulu, I think.
Really?
Listen,
gold.
I know plenty of people who watch Black Ink Crew in a binge form, so do not be shocked. Like, don't be ashamed. Embrace that Black Ink Ratchet.
I used to watch it until that one character, that mom who literally abandoned her sons, got to be too much for me. I was like, I can't. Is that the same show, Black Ink Crew?
Listen, don't ask me that. My sisters would be able to tell you all of that information, but not I.
I can't remember her name, but anyways, back to Demon Slayer.
Yeah, so it's a story about a young boy. His name is Tanjiro, and his family is killed by demons. Everyone in his family, except for his little sister, Nezuko, who was actually been turned into a demon. So he ends up joining like this demon slayer. I'm trying to like dumb it down. I'm trying to like simplify the story. He joins like a demon slayer corps where his job is to kill demons. Okay. But his main goal is to seek revenge on the demon who killed his family, which happens to be the top dog demon of all time. But he doesn't obviously fully understand like who this man is, while also trying to keep his sister, because his sister is now a demon, but she is not a demon like the rest of them. Like, she protects her brother still, like she still recognizes her brother. And so him and then 2 other characters are trying to grow within the demon corps, but fight demons, and they fight demons with these different powers. So like each one of them has a different power. Like one of them has the power of lightning. One of them has the power of water, fire, stuff like that. And so they, through proper breathing techniques and proper training, they're able to ignite certain forms of their powers to fight the demons.
Okay.
And if you ever decide to drop into this anime, it starts off very weird, but that's literally most animes. Episode 19, cinematography wise, is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on TV.
Wow.
is like, there was a time on Twitter where literally Demon Slayer episode 19 was trending.
What?
Because everybody was shook. Like, it was like, this was amazing. Like,
okay, we're talking, Tess, we're talking about Demon Slayer, the anime, and I just have questions. Does he find out why his family was targeted? Is that a spoiler?
Well, we only have one season, so technically, and this is funny, the creator of the manga has already stated, like, he did not know that Demon Slayer was going to get the amount of love that it got. Like, he thought it was going to be one of those animes where it's like, you make it, it's cute, whatever. So he did not, this manga series is not very long at all. I think it is only 2. I think we're only going to get either 2 or 3 more, season 2 or season 3, or a movie. They haven't even said how they're going to end out in his series. So it might be his final showdown is another movie. If it is another movie, my heart's going to be sad, but it's fine.
So I have another question. So since it's like a series, is the movie just a more detailed, bigger form of the series? Is it a continuation?
Oh, see, the best part about anime movies is that they are a part of the storyline.
Okay.
Like, this Mugen Train is the movie, and it is a specific part of the manga that progresses the story. Like, when season 2 starts, it's going to start at the end of the movie.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like, I really appreciate them. I don't know when I'm going to get season 2, and that is actually the problem.
Okay.
It's like, so when are we going to get it?
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very curious now.
I'm trying really hard not to read the manga. A couple of my friends have already finished it because they can't wait any longer. Okay. But this one and My Hero Academia are the 2 mangas that I'm refusing to read because I've just really been enjoying the shows, and for some reason it's like I saw a spoiler for the movie like months ago and I was pissed. And I knew what was going to happen and I still wasn't ready.
Really?
So, yeah, like, I just feel like sometimes it's cool not to read the book.
I mean, you and Troy were saying that y'all were crying and shit, so I don't know if I'm ready.
I mean, okay, so to be fair, there are a lot of... I am that person when I watch animes, I might shed a thug tear or 2 with no shame. I also have a tendency to love certain characters, and like, I'll be in there like, fight, beat his ass. like, that's me in a manga. Like, or an anime, I will literally, depending on like which one I'm watching. Like, I remember it was even one episode in season 3 of My Hero. I just remember like screaming like, go. Oh my God. I was like, don't die.
Wow, you get so involved. I know, but that's how it is when you're really into something. Like, even when you're reading a book and you're really, really into it. Like, I've had moments where you like put the book down and you like take a few deep breaths and you're like, oh, okay.
I mean, and then also like anime has a tendency to like draw a battle out. So it really be like a struggle bus.
Question.
How do you and Troy talk about Demon Slayer? She doesn't read the manga. Hey, we talk about it based on what we've already seen. We are determined. Like, there is no like reading the manga, because she already knows if she has chosen to read a manga and tells me what happens where the anime has not caught up to the manga, we will not be friends anymore.
It's that serious.
Like, I do that to all my friends. I'm like, listen, I'm very aware that you know what's going to happen, but what we're not going to do is ruin the experience for me. So I'm being patient.
So for the anime manga world illiterate, so the manga is the physical written part. The anime is the illustrated
TV show,
visual TV show. Okay. Yeah. So the manga is ahead, obviously, of the anime. Oh my gosh. Hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy. We literally, like, this is a conversation we've had before where it's like, listen, I only know what has been shown on TV.
Right.
So remember that before you speak. Do not ruin things for me.
I know that's
one of those things. I don't know why, but like I stopped reading mangas of the shows that I was heavily watching.
Why?
I don't know. It's like and then the funny thing is I go and read them afterward.
Okay.
So like I figure out where the anime has caught up to the manga, and then I'll go back and read the manga up to that point.
Okay, that's fair.
Because sometimes you don't know, like they might leave some information out. Like there might be more details about a certain scene or something in the manga that's not explained.
Yeah.
In the anime. So like you might get more information, but I'm serious. I'd be like, I don't know why, but lately I have just enjoyed the not knowing of certain animes. And I'm like,
have you ever found, because it kind of reminds me of like book to movie adaptations, kind of, but have you ever found that the anime was actually better than the manga?
Sometimes. Well, let me rephrase. When I was younger, and I can say that when I was younger, I used to think that the Sailor Moon show was better than the Sailor Moon manga, because when I was younger, me and my brother would come home from school and like it would show Dragon Ball Z. My dad would have Dragon Ball Z recorded, Sailor Moon recorded, Inuyasha recorded, and then some other ones that I'm not going to mention because there's no point to mention them here. Nobody's going to know them. But like we would watch them, and then like I had the mangas because I could just, it was a part of my book collection, and it was like the only one that my parents would buy for me. Don't know why. So it's just like, but now that I'm older, I just realize the writing, like mangas don't get as much love as they probably should.
Right.
Like they are creating whole visuals.
They are. And the writing is surprisingly like so good in so many mangas. I remember I used to read a lot of manga when I was younger. And I think obviously when you're younger, you're going to prefer the anime because there's the music and, it's animated and kind of brings it to life. And there's like that extra oomph in it that can't necessarily be captured in the written word.
Right.
Even with the pictures in there, the drawings, the art. But I often find that when you get older, you have a new appreciation for the mangas.
Yeah, like I decided that I'm going to make one of my bookshelves in the library devoted to just manga. I haven't figured out which ones are going to make the shelf, but yeah, my daddy is pretty great. But I don't know what's going to make it there, but we'll figure it out. The funny thing is I already have a couple of the My Hero ones. I have Death Note. I have the first 3 of Fruit Basket because I was told to read it and I just haven't touched it yet. And this is always a question for me. So since Aaron brought this up, for the people who can't get into mangas, comic books, or graphic novels, like what is the thing that deters you from them? Because I'm obviously into art. So there have been times where I've picked up a graphic novel or a comic book or a manga because of the illustrator of the manga, not even the story. Like I've picked up books because I love, certain person's line work. Like Demon Slayer, the art book, I'm trying to find it online right now because I'm obsessed with the line work of Demon Slayer, both on the TV screen and in the manga. They do such a great job, in my opinion, of the line stuff, but I just touched my nail. That's not dry.
I find that for me, careful. I find that I don't gravitate towards them, but when I do make up my mind to pick up one, I'm just like sucked in. I'm just like, ooh.
Because I mean, there are some more adult ones. Like one of my friends,
so good.
The one that I got her into,
it's not
was Saga. Uh-oh, are we glitching?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Yeah, we're glitching.
Yep. Okay. Say what you were saying, because I didn't know I thought you were done, and then it clicked in with your voice again.
Yeah, I just said that when I don't necessarily like intentionally gravitate towards them, I have to make up my mind to like pick one up, and then when I do, I really enjoy it. But I think, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, just making sure. But I was really into it when I was a lot younger because I used to go to the library all the time, and the library would have this one section that was just like stockpiled full. And I would just sit there and read like manga after manga after manga after school and just be in my own little world.
Yeah, like I've heard this. There are some books being turned into graphic novels, like some of Octavia Butler's books, like Kindred has been turned into one. It's really beautiful. I've also heard this. Oh, and this, I want to picture the scene myself.
Okay.
Get it? I used to be into manga like in high school, but as an adult, I haven't read any but Planet. Are there any Black mangas? That's a topic I'll answer in a second.
Ooh.
I've had people tell me that manga specifically seem too over the top.
What does that even mean?
Okay, so obviously me and Troy are going to give you a list of animes, right? And what we're going to need you to do is watch the first episode of every one of them and then tell me which ones you want to actually watch after watching the first episode, because mangas like the anime can definitely be over the top.
Okay. Just like overly dramatic.
Overly dramatic is probably an understatement. Like,
you know me, I love the drama.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually a fact too. In terms of comic books, it can get really expensive. You can what they've started doing nowadays, which I've noticed, they do a lot of omnibuses now, where there's like a compilation of like a whole series. Yeah. Even though those are actually expensive as heck too. So it's one of those things where I'm like, do I really like the series? Do I really, really like this? Is this something that like, it's just, no. Yeah, I'm slowly starting to get into graphic novels. I read a nonfiction one recently. It was called Wait, The Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts. What? Okay, so anybody who is interested in looking into a graphic novel, here's one. Wait, The Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts.
Sounds amazing.
I would actually love to see that illustrated. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna write that down because I need to find it. Where is a pen? Where is a pen? Nails, please just dry so I can do things. Okay, wake.
Hi, Shane. Hi, novelist. Welcome.
Guys, The Hidden History. Yeah, see, I feel like topics like this, I would love to see them in graphic novel form, because then I could like slice them.
So this is a great segue. Like, are there any booktubers that talk a lot or review a lot of like mangas and stuff like that? Because I would love to check them out. I feel like they would be a great resource for people who are new or looking to get into reading more mangas.
I started following a couple of them, but they stopped posting. Like, it was some, hold on, let me see if I have anybody on my list. Because I've been redoing my subscriber lists because protecting my peace is a serious thing. Seriously, sister, seriously.
So there is something that I kind of wanted to talk about that goes hand in hand with our topic for today is like, I think we need to bring back people having hobbies that aren't monetized or they don't feel the need to monetize. Because this whole past couple, I would say, honestly, y'all, since the pandemic, the Panini began, this video is not going to get demonetized because it's not monetized. I was like, why am I censoring myself? But since the pandemic started, I have really begun to appreciate the sacredness of having a hobby that is just a hobby for a hobby's sake, right? For just having a space where you're doing something that you enjoy purely for the enjoyment of it. You don't feel the need to broadcast it. You don't feel the need to put it online or talk about it online or monetize it in any way. It's just a hobby. And it kind of made me realize we have lost that art form in some ways.
That's because we grew up in this mentality of like grinding and hustling hard and all that stuff. Like, we're taught that we should monetize everything. Which, in a sense, sometimes I do agree with it, especially if, like, it's providing a service. I definitely believe in making your coin off of it. But I have hobbies that I don't put online, and it's pretty great.
Like what?
Obviously, video gaming. Like, I stream Sims and stuff now, because streaming is funny. I'm not making any money off these streams. And I'm also just like, sometimes I think the last stream, like Musical Tati and Chronicles of Noria joined me, and like it was just hilarious because they were wishing triplets on me, which is just rude in a sense. And then my girl ended up having twins, and I was like, why?
Dang.
Yeah. So it's just like I only do it on Patreon. Like every once in a while, I will put a stream outside of Patreon, but for the most part, it's for my Patreon, or it's for me streaming and just chatting with my family or my friends while I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm purposely not advertising. I'm purposely not broadcasting it because when I do finish my gaming setup, I will be on Twitch on a secret account. Like, you won't even know it's me. I'm trying to figure out a way to keep my whole identity a secret. Like, I don't want it monetized. Like, I like streaming, but I don't like the publicity of it, or like, I don't want none of that. And then video games in general, it's just, you know, like video games. I cannot stress how great video games are. And I'm just tired with the passion of Christ. I am tired of these 2-bit heifers trying to say that video gaming is for children.
Wait, who's saying that?
It's a lot of people that think that grown adults should not be playing video games. And ironically, some of them, our brother actually dates. And I don't know how you date a woman who doesn't like your favorite hobby, but I digress. I just be like, mind your business, bro. Like, you spend your money on what you spend your money on. I spend my money on what I spend my money on. I am literally hurting no one. Mind your business.
Here's the thing, though. Ooh, Troy, we're going to talk about that in a second. I just want to say this one comment to tag off of the video game thing. We all love games as humans. Football, all sports are games.
Yep.
All sports. Every single sport. The entire Olympics is made up of games. So it doesn't make sense. Like, we sit down, we play board games, we play Clue, you go to the casino, and yes, it's gambling, but it's also a game. It's a game of luck, but it's still a game. So when people say stuff like that about video games, it's very confusing, because these will be the same people that will want to play sports with a club team, or are really into board games, or love to go to Vegas. Like, I'm just like, it's all the same.
Yeah, I'm always under this impression of like, last time I checked, none of you pay my bills.
People do need to mind their business.
Like, so like, I understand that social media has given you this armor where you think you have a right to dictate what other people are doing, but you don't. And
I can't talk to you. Oh my God, I can't.
I have words. It's like, I'm trying not to say what I really want to say, but it's just always like, if we're not hurting anybody.
Wait, what does too old for K-pop mean? Isn't that music?
Listen, that's another thing. Like, too old for K-pop? Like,
isn't that a musical genre? What does that even mean?
Who determines the age? Who does? It's too many people on Beyonce's internet trying to dictate how we find peace. I don't understand.
I don't understand it. Like, I want to be that girl. Are you not embarrassed? Like, are you not embarrassed?
Can you please make that an audio so I can TikTok that, please? Please. Please.
Oh my God. Woo. Embarrassing.
Like everybody in my business. I'm not embarrassed.
All right, I want to go back to this, because this is the number one reason that I don't make as many BookTube videos as I used to.
Why?
Because I started BookTube because I didn't have anyone to talk about books with and reading with.
Oh, but you have us now.
So and now I have actual friends that I can talk to, that I can text, that I can message. And so that the ultimate reasoning is gone. And also I find this overwhelming urge to keep my reading a private thing just for me. It goes back to that whole monetizing your hobbies.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love making booktube videos when I do make them. And, you know, whenever I post, I make sure that I post something that I think everyone will enjoy. By the way, have a new haul up. Go watch.
Oh, you have a haul up? I don't think I... It's a haul.
It's a problematic romance haul, which, I mean, I think it's actually pretty fun.
That's pretty much up your alley. And yeah, so I'm down with that. Just cool.
Yeah, the algorithms are not as nice to me these days because I don't post as much. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out if you have 24 minutes to spare.
I only use Goodreads to keep my TBR list.
Yes.
Because I see no reason to even use that terrible app. We already know they prefer authors over reviewers anyway.
They sure do.
Touching on that topic right now, but like a drag could happen in honor of Goodreads and all of the drag could happen. I'm just not dragging.
This is what Black Prose is gonna do. I promise y'all this. We are going to have a live where we have Goodreads up and we have the story graph up.
Bruh, we should start doing that and just like show why we should just switch to these other platforms instead of Goodreads. Yeah.
Live coming soon. Give us a couple weeks. We're gonna have one window with Goodreads up and one window with the story graph. I think that's what it's called, right? The story graph?
It's either story graph or it's one of them. I know one of them is created by a Black woman, which is even more incentive for me.
That's the story graph.
Yeah. So
if I'm saying it correctly.
I feel like one day we should just completely switch Black Prose over to that as like a collective, like, goodbye, Goodreads. It's been nice.
Yeah, it's the story graph. So we are going to have both windows up. We're going to show y'all.
See, this I feel like I don't have the patience. Like, let me set my notifications. This is what
Goodreads is literally connected to everything.
I don't know if they've added forums yet.
I don't know yet. If you read on your Kindle as much as I do, if you read as much romance as I do, or if you just read a lot on your Kindle or your e-reader, it's literally Amazon is connected to Goodreads, which is so annoying.
Yes. I had to turn off that what is it? I had to turn off the whole like connect to my Goodreads thing.
I turned it off too.
Because I was like, mind your business, Amazon.
Mind your business. Nobody needs to know that I'm reading Hood Boys Know It, Do It Better. Like, nobody needs to know. Okay?
Nobody needs to know.
Although when I do accidentally like have it on and then it shows that I'm reading something like that, the messages that I receive that like, oh, was that good? I was eyeing that. It's amazing.
This is why, like, I keep telling you, it's just like, I know that you have us to talk about, and like, obviously you and Troy talk about romance and I side eye y'all every time. Like, I know that you have that community now, but there are some times where I'm like, I just want you to go online and kind of do like how Audrey on Perpetual Pages does, where it's like 5 reasons to read this book. All of them be like real raunchy romance books.
Maybe I will.
I think that would be great. Listen, I have a story graph too. My password's written somewhere. I gotta find it.
I know. I have that too. Yes. Versus. Let's do this.
We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. Yes, exactly, Troy. Some things y'all just don't need to know. You don't need to understand. It's for me, myself, and I, okay? And
yeah, I know that Amazon owns Goodreads, and like the same way that I'm same way that I'm trying to veer off Amazon is the way, oh my God, hiccups. It's the way that I'm trying to veer off Goodreads. Good God.
Yes. They also own Audible, which is the most annoying
don't get me started on Audible.
Well, everybody switch from Audible to, I think I plugged it once on one of our lives, and it's going to kill me that I can't remember the name of this other platform that I use. Hold on.
Is it the Libro one?
Yes, Libro FM. The only thing is Audible does this thing where they have these like Audible exclusives,
which is super annoying.
And so if you really want to get a certain book, like, for example, they have this one Audible exclusive where it's Pride and Prejudice written by this one really fantastic actress. I want to say Rosamund Pike.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get that version, you have to get it from Audible. You cannot get it from anywhere else. So they have this like monopoly on certain things. And I mean, good for them. It was their idea to come up with it, but it sucks that it's only exclusive. Like, for example, the book of this quarter, my quarter pick is the Mariah Carey book, right? Mariah Carey autobiography. By the way, if you did not know, if you didn't come to our last live, the book of the quarter is Mariah Carey's autobiography, which I believe is called The Meaning. Isn't it The Meaning of Mariah Carey?
I think it's The Meaning of Mariah Carey. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm going to have to buy the book because I refuse to do Audible.
This is what I wanted to talk about. So Mariah Carey actually reads her audiobook. It's narrated by her, but guess what? It's an Audible exclusive. So unless you're an Audible member or you shell out those coins to buy it from Audible that one good time, you cannot wait. What did they? I
was going to let you finish because I have questions.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we will return to that. Let me just finish my thought. So if you want to get the Mariah Carey audiobook narrated by Mariah Carey and you're not an Audible member or don't want to purchase from Audible, you can't.
Yep. And I'm just like, I understand that the publishing world is trash and that they look for ways to make exclusive because as a community, we love some exclusive collectors thing. We do. But I'm just like, I want to hear Mariah Carey.
Right?
But to hear Mariah Carey, I have to have an Audible account. Why?
It's
because like I don't like it.
I'm done with Aaron.
That's my whole vibe.
Oh
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I agree with Aaron. We can do a collective listen.
Right? Let's do it.
Yeah, see, like the publisher gave me a free print copy. I keep hearing that the audiobook is amazing. And I'm like, but this is how Audible's going to get me because
it's how they get
autobiography wise, I love listening to women tell their stories. So it's like
you feel like you have no choice.
Yeah, I feel like I've been trapped into doing this, and I don't think it's very fair.
Like, for example, one of my favorite autobiographies of all time, Becoming Michelle Obama, would not have been the same if it hadn't been narrated by Michelle Obama. Like, it just wouldn't have been.
I got to listen to the narration for free. Let that sink in for a second.
But I definitely want to go back to what you were saying about Libro FM's reviewer program, because I did not know that.
Yeah, okay. So I have never used Libro, but I have seen, I think Books on Stereo had a video about Libro, and I've seen a couple of other booktubers talk about Libro. So if you use Libro right now, do you see a benefit to using it? Because it says Libro FM has an advanced listening program for reviewers if you have 1,000 followers or more, where you can get free audiobooks each month. So my question is,
I mean, that kind of sounds like a huge benefit to using them.
I mean, if you have the followers, but if you don't have the followers, is it worth it? And then is it followers on YouTube or is it followers on Libro?
That's a good question. I thought it would just be like on your book reviewer account, like whether you review books on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. That's the way I took it, but you'll have to clarify that for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look online. Hold on. I'm putting the top code on and then we can start the Googles for Libro because that's a good question. I'm all for resources, especially audiobook resources, because they've really been helping me do a lot lately.
So one audiobook that I've been listening to recently on Hoopla that has given me, it's like on par with the Matthew McConaughey audiobook.
Oh God, you about to say something. Wow. Okay, what's this one?
Does anybody remember this show from the early to mid 2000s that kind of glamorized the life of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends at the Playboy Mansion. It was called The Girls Next Door.
Oh, I remember that show.
And it was like Holly, Bridget, and Kendra and Hugh Hefner. Okay. So Holly wrote a tell-all book a couple years ago called Down the Rabbit Hole about her experiences and how it was all like a facade and like all of the Me Too-ish things that were going on with Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion and that whole brand. So I don't know why I decided to read it, but I ran across, you know how YouTube will like recommend things to you and you're like, how, why, where, what made you think this would be okay? One of the things that it recommended to me was Holly Madison recently went on, what is the name of that podcast? It's like a very risque name. It's like Call Her Daddy, I think.
I don't remember, but I know I have heard of the podcast because I need to listen to it.
So the podcast name is Call Her Daddy, and they're kind of raunchy and stuff. And so she was on that podcast, and so it popped up on my YouTube homepage recommended, and I started listening to the podcast, and I just got this overwhelming urge to, because she kept referring to the book. I had never read it, and I got this overwhelming urge, so I just paused the podcast, went over to Hoopla and see if they had it, and they did. They had her audiobook, and it's narrated by her.
What's it called? Because I'm kind of intrigued. Because I know Holly got screwed over, and that was just us watching the reality TV show. We knew she got screwed over. So
look, The Mess. Hugh Hefner died at the right time because he must have known, his devilish little like spirits must have told him that the Me Too movement was coming for his ass, and so he died. But
wow,
the things that happened, I was shook, and I'm not done with it yet. I'm like 3/4 of the way through. I highly recommend it. I'm listening to it on 1.2 speed, so I recommend speeding it up a bit. But oh my God, I'm just like listening to it.
In a way, I'm not shocked because it's a place called the Playboy Mansion. But then at the same time, it's just like, what made you go there? I really want somebody to have an interview with her where it's like, where were you? Like, what happened that made you want to be one of his girlfriends?
Well, she talks about it. She talks about it in the book and like her childhood and what kind of led her and drew her to that scene and that lifestyle. And she was super young. And it's just like how these really young, somewhat naive, very malleable girls who are craving attention, craving, stardom, and who desperately are seeking some type of validation are easily manipulated and are drawn into this lifestyle. And then they kind of get trapped in it. And it's really hard for them to find their way out. And it was very interesting just learning about the whole Playboy culture. And the most shocking thing I've learned thus far, and there have been a lot of shocking things, honey, is that apparently Hugh Hefner didn't even own the Playboy Mansion. He was renting his room. Y'all, he did not own it. He rented his room for $25,000 a month, and then each subsequent girlfriend's room he rented out, and they were all different prices. And so some of the girls he valued more than others. So it's like one chick would have like a $12,000 room, one chick would have only a $5,000 room. He didn't own the mansion. He was a renter.
But who did?
The corporation of Playboy.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, excuse me? I have been bamboozled, sir.
I mean, again, it was called the Playboy Mansion, so I always looked at it with the side eye of Christ, but it's just like, wow.
Yeah, she really escaped. And like also, you kind of learn the real personalities of the girls. Like when I used to watch the show, not gonna lie, Kendra was my favorite.
Kendra annoyed the living crap out of me.
I just thought she was like super ditzy, but in an entertaining way, over the top, crazy. And I don't know. She was my favorite. I enjoyed watching her. It's kind of like when I used to watch the Kardashians, and Khloe was my favorite for those same reasons. Like over the top, crazy, like woo. And you're just like, oh, this is a fun personality. And then the layers get peeled back, and as the years go on, and then you kind of see something beneath the surface. It's like the Wizard of Oz when you peek behind the curtain, and it's just like this little old white man. It's not the wizard, and you're like, it's not what I quite imagined you to be. It's kind of how what you find out about like Kendra, and you're just like, ooh.
I mean, when she got married to whatever his name was, and they started their own show, like you started seeing.
It started to unravel.
You started seeing all of the things with her. Man, reality TV really has us in a lock. We've been watching reality TV for so long.
Since The Real World, baby. Does anybody remember The Real World?
The Real World, like somebody told me, and I said this to somebody. I was like, if your first time seeing CT was on Road Rules,
look,
we're not the same.
We're not the same. We're not the same.
Because
this is facts. Oh my god, this is so true.
Oh my gosh, I just been like, think about it. Like even Jessica Simpson, she had a reality show at one point.
Mm-hmm. And look, Erin, I'm there with you. I am there with you. After I read her book, that level of hatred I had for Nick Lachey and John Mayer, I was like, John
Mayer.
And John Mayer is one of my favorite musicians of all time. I still listen to his music. He's amazing on tour, brilliant musician. But when he is a narcissist, he tortured her. Like the things he did to Jessica Simpson, I mean,
but he did this, like, I knew John Mayer was crap because like all his ex-girlfriends are messed up after him.
Yeah, no, I was like having a hard time listening to his music.
This is
that book.
Fact though, because I used to sleep and watch The Real World because it came on at a weird hour for me. So I used to be up at night watching it.
Oh yeah.
Had I known that I was going to be led down this road, because if y'all remember, the first dating show that we got outside of The Bachelor was Flavor
of Love.
And we watched it for multiple seasons.
We did. And honestly, the best thing to come out of that show was New York. I love New York. Freaking adore her. What is that? Like some of the stuff that she said to this day is so iconic. Beyonce. Beyonce. Just bruh. Oh my gosh, I adore her. But
no, actually, do not catch up. You don't need to catch up. That is all trash TV that we are talking about.
It's so good though. Like that, the level of reality. I mean, reality TV has never been all that real, but it was a lot more raw and less scripted back then. And you can tell because some of the way that people were behaving, like that. Do y'all remember Bad Girls Club?
The real Bad Girls Club? Bad Girls. If I can't get no sleep because of y'all not gonna get sleep because of me.
Like the way some of these people are acting, you're like, this is definitely not scripted because you would never want to expose yourself to this level on television.
Natalie got dog walked after talking about old girl's daughter. Like, again, I remember all of these things because I needed an escape. And then especially when I got to college, Bad Girls Club was my escape from my engineering thing. Also, wait a minute.
I'm sorry. I
can't read that. I don't want us getting tagged or nothing.
I'm done.
What?
John.
Everything just went into like such a dark place.
I'm just,
Oh, that is so true. She really did though.
Yes, she did.
Because everybody was like, how you running LA and just getting run up on all the time? How, Sway?
Oh,
God. That all of us. I love that all of us are really just like, yo, you remember when we used to watch them girls mollywop each other?
Yes.
For nothing. I'm tired of her always feeling like she can do stuff. I'm going to set her in her place, jumps across the table. And I just remember one time my mom was braiding my hair and my sisters were like, Mom, can we watch Bad Girls Club? Mind you, like, this is when they should have been watching Bad Girls Club. And my mom didn't know that we were watching Bad Girls Club. So she was like, what is Bad Girls Club? And we put it on. And
I know she was like.
It was one of those episodes where Tanisha was not a happy person. And my mom was like, first of all, this will never be allowed in my house again. Second of all, don't you ever think it's okay to act like this.
Y'all expose yourself.
You get arrested. These are
felonies. Yourself putting that on. I can't.
Oh man, Oh my gosh, you're so right.
They did.
Like it was like Bad Girls Club in the day back in the day was like a reform thing.
It was
whereas
like
now it's just where it's like you don't want to act like that. Like you need to try to be a better human. Whereas like now I don't even know what these girls.
I think they canceled it, right? It's been canceled.
No, it's still on.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely still on.
Oh my God, y'all, Bug Juice.
Yo!
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Tanisha did have a spinoff, and that was such an awkward show when she was getting married to that dude.
I didn't watch it.
Bug Juice ain't got like it's like when I think of Bug Juice and then I think about like the reality TV show that we watch. I'm like, Bug Juice didn't even feel like a reality TV show because I wanted to be at that summer camp.
I was about to say Bug Juice made me want to go to summer camp, but my parents were not having the whole summer camp thing.
My mom was not down with summer camp either because, and I quote, if I send you, I got to send the other 3, and that's expensive.
Wow. My parents were just paranoid. They were like, you sleeping away in a random place in the middle of the woods? Yeah, no.
I don't think Bug Juice is on Disney Plus either. Like, I need to look, but I don't think it's on there yet.
It's not.
Yeah. Yo, I saw this TikTok. So there's a guy on TikTok that just talks about cartoons. I appreciate him greatly. Y'all remember that Pepper Ann episode about bras?
This is vaguely ringing a bell.
Because like shortly after that, Pepper Ann got canceled. Because like it was a whole episode about puberty and boobs. And like she basically flashed like her whole gym class.
What?
Because of her bra. Like, but it was like a real thing where it's like, you remember when you had to first start wearing bras and like how this uncomfortable and terrible that junk was. And it's just like, dang. And then he said, Pepper Ann crawled so that Big Mouth could walk. And I was like, facts though, because Pepper Ann really did touch on topics.
It went there about a lot of stuff, about like just like the awkward stuff of being a teen and growing up and coming into your own body and your own sense of self. It definitely went there.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I was like, I kind of want to go back and watch Pepper Ann again because I remember that episode where she flashed people. Because again, I got my hair done every Saturday night before church, and I watched a lot of Disney related things because my mom was not down with us watching other things. And I remember that episode, and my mom was like, oh, like maybe her mama should have talked to her about flashing as well. And I was like,
right.
Okay, Mom.
I just remember like for me, I went straight from like nothing to a B cup. So I skipped the whole like training bra stage. I didn't get a training bra, I just got a bra.
Oh no. That's kind of how me, like my whole lower half, I went from wearing like a kid's 12 to like a grown woman 12 in like a year. Yeah, that was a terrible hazing process. Oh my gosh.
Look, I have been getting the urge recently to watch Degrassi, The Next Generation. So bad. The one with like Emma and Jimmy and...
First of all, that's the only one that I watched. Like, the other ones are just not there for me.
Well, there was like that one. And then as I was getting older, there was like a new class and I watched a little bit of that. And then I kind of aged out of Degrassi. But I have been getting the urge to rewatch Degrassi so bad. And if anybody wants to like watch party Degrassi, if we can find it, I'm totally down.
That would be great. Also, Miss WOC Reader, I definitely remember Braceface. Because, you know, all of the theme songs back then were bops. And Braceface was definitely a bop for me. And I also used to sing it to my brother because he had braces at the time.
Yes, we can do this together.
Oh my God, the Jimmy and Spinner rap.
Look. Oh my goodness.
We knew that Jimmy was going to be Drake.
If we only knew. And you know what's interesting? Everyone had their favorite Degrassi character, and that kind of said something about you. You know, like who? Really? Everyone had their favorite, whether it was Paige, Michael Chuck, or Emma, or, oh God, what's her face? The one freaking black girl on that show.
Yo, I never remember her name, and that's also very telling.
Well, there were two. There was Hazel, and then there was the other girl that was kind of chunky.
Oh.
And that was like her entire character arc. I was like, why?
Her whole character. Now that I'm older, I realize how messed up that really was.
And she had these beautiful pouty lips. I can't remember her name.
Carrie.
Yes.
They did.
I'm like, why is your whole character arc this issue. Like, why?
Oh, wait. What is Skins?
Skins is the UK. It's kind of like a UK Degrassi, but like way edgier, I mean, if Degrassi went there, Skin is like living there. I never saw it, but I would like try to sneak episodes when I was in college and try to watch like bootleg episodes, and it never quite worked out for me. But I definitely heard of it. Oh, there's a US Skins?
Listen, I am intrigued.
I'm so intrigued. Okay, so we are definitely doing this. We are going to organize a watch party.
Oh my gosh.
And it's going to be epic. We just need to figure out how to do it and where it's playing. Because we all need to escape. Like, there's just too much going on in the world.
Oh my gosh. The fact that there's just so many like shows where we're all like having these moments is hilarious.
It is a perfect description, Shane. It is. It is the original Euphoria.
Oh, shoot. Because Euphoria is Euphoria.
Exactly.
Shoot. Okay, the first two series.
I can't with Aaron. We don't discuss the US version. It's that bad.
Okay. Good to know.
Wow, we'll be skipping. Thanks.
Okay. I used to watch Skins back when BBC America used to actually show what we wanted to watch. See, I'm real biased when it comes to BBC America because I be watching all them old-timey shows. Like,
can we talk about that? Because
Call the Midwife, Queen Victoria, all that stuff.
People always get so shocked when I talk about how much I enjoy like old-timey shows. And it just annoys me because I know it's probably like a weird racial thing.
Well, that's because they're probably assuming that what we're watching is stuff about racism and slavery and stuff. And it's like, there's like plenty of other things to watch. Like,
no, they think I like to watch. What is that 50 Cent show? Help me out, y'all.
Not Empire.
Empire. No, the other one.
Shoot. What is the show with Ghost in it?
That's how you know I don't watch it. But people are always like, "Oh, did you see that episode of that show?" And I'm just like,
I've watched
Power. Thank you.
There we go. I've watched 1.5 episodes of Power.
I've never
every single episode of Call the Midwife. So
look,
there's that.
Here's my thing. I like to read my street lit. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it, okay?
It just never grabbed me. Like Empire and Power, neither one of those shows grabbed me. But for some reason, me and my friend were waiting to drop her off at the airport, and we were bored. And then on Netflix, it just popped up like, you might be interested. Because I think I watched Downton Abbey or something. And, you know, once you watch something like Downton Abbey, they recommend everything from there. And then it popped up Call the Midwife. And we were like, oh, like, all right, well, let's just give it a try. And then like 6 episodes in, we're like, okay, so we kind of like the show.
Yes. I don't think I've seen Call the Midwife yet, but now I'm really curious. But I love to watch like the miniseries. Like, I think there's one called Dr. Thorne that I'm obsessed with. There's one called, I think it's like Mothers and Daughters or something that I also like. I love the miniseries and the adaptations from books. Not just Jane Austen books, but just classic British literature in general. When they adapt it, you know what? I'm there with my popcorn, with my like pajamas. I'm like, yes, I'm living. It's, love it.
I just want you to read this.
Oh no! What are you watching, or what are you reading of Desiree?
Speak on it.
Yeah, speak on it, because Desiree is my girl.
Yeah. Poldark. Yeah.
Poldark. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Facts. Do not get me started on Poldark. We will be here all night. That is my shit.
You know what show surprised me? Because I have HBO Max. Yeah. His Dark Materials.
Really? You talked
actually before. I've enjoyed it. Like what's funny is the only person that was watching it was Ted. So like,
yes,
we were literally on Instagram, and I'm like, wait. I was like, I'm only on episode 7. Just wait until I finish, and then we can talk about the whole season. We have like predictions for like season 3, but yeah. No, like, I watch stuff like Call the Midwife, Poldark. Oh my god, I just here's the answer.
Yes, I've read the Carter Boys and the Carter Girls. I don't think I've read Not Another Thug Story.
Not Another Thug Story.
Yeah, the mess that goes on in the Carter Boys and the Carter Girls, I mean, that's a whole nother live. Look,
I appreciate you for admitting this, because like one day we're gonna have a talk about like the type of like love interest characters that we're attracted to in books and why. And
you're like,
these are the kind of things that I hope that we're honest about.
You're like, the toxicity I'm exhibiting right now in my reading life is not good.
Right. What is the OA? I don't think I've watched the OA. What is the OA?
What is that? What does it stand for? I'm like literally pulling out strands of hair with my glasses over here. Not good.
Meanwhile, this cat been on my head for hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I could not get into Empire. Like y'all are talking about how like y'all were over. I just cannot.
Again, I prefer to read my street lit.
Also, what?
Poldark is this amazing show on, I want to say it's on PBS. So if you have
PBS.
If you have Amazon Prime or Amazon, you can get PBS as an add-on for like $5 extra a month. But it's based on this book series, and it's an adaptation about this guy who comes from this kind of mid-level British family. He goes off to war. He's in the UK, so he goes off to fight the War of the Colonies, which we call the Revolutionary War. Yeah. And he comes back, and I mean, before he left, he was in love with this girl. They had made promises to each other. Everything's all good and gravy. He goes off to war, almost dies, gets injured, loses all his men, has like a traumatic as hell experience. Of course, they lose because, you know, we won. And then he comes back, and his family estate is gone. The girl that he loved marries his cousin.
Which is just wild.
Wild, okay? He's lost everything. Like, he has to start and rebuild from the ground up. And he's like a farmer, and he has nothing. Like, it's just a mess.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie, though? Like, that is so true. I'm just glad that he
makes experience so much richer, Erin. Does it not?
That is freaking hilarious. You said that so well, because I was definitely about to say, and like, you know,
it doesn't help. It definitely helps that he's like tall, dark, handsome, broody. Like he's got that whole Mr. Darcy thing going on.
Yeah, and he has dark kind of curly hair. It's like shortcut.
Yeah, he's definitely a Mr. Darcy-esque type protagonist. Well, at least in season 1, because honey, season 2, that shit goes out the window. But
yeah.
I highly recommend. I'm not even gonna go on because I could just keep going.
Okay, so OA, Tati said, can't tell you what it stands for. That's a spoiler, but it lacks, or it talks about a blind chick who goes missing as a teen, and when she comes back, she can see and is caught on camera jumping off a bridge. Listen,
look,
according to y'all, the show got canceled. That's so disrespectful. Because I'm gonna watch it, and if I get hooked, I'm gonna be sad. Not to jump off, bro.
Zane was my high school. Like, why am I reading this shit?
Like, listen, we're I'm so glad we're just talking about random shows. This is just so great.
It's too good. Look, that sent me to another dimension because it's so
fantastic.
It was amazing.
You're right, though. Netflix stay canceling the good shows.
Well, I learned something that I didn't know, and I can't remember who told me, but apparently the reason that shows always get canceled after 2 seasons is because in the 3rd season, they have to like pay them more. Like Netflix contracts are originally for like 2 seasons. And if a show goes past 2 seasons, just know that those actors are actually getting paid a lot more.
Also, inquiring minds would like to know if anyone else used to get mad at people in real life, then make them Sims and kill them.
Yo, look.
Listen, as a person who's been playing Sims since Sims 1, yes.
Right?
I take away all the doors and
It was like doing that and also taking them off your top 8, you know? It was like a whole
ritual. Oh my gosh, the top 8 on MySpace used to get into some serious drama.
You would like kill them off as a sim, take them off your top 8, and then write about them in your live journal, which of course everyone had access to read because it's live journal.
Yeah.
Because live journal was like the original subliminals on Twitter now.
Yep. But so you want to talk about subtweeting? No, sweetie. Look at the live journals on MySpace. They used to be so rich.
Lord.
Oh, man. Oh my gosh, Tati. Okay, so I have a confession. I actually enjoyed the first 2 seasons. Is it 2 seasons of Grace and Frankie?
Why does this show sound so familiar?
Because it's about 2 women whose husbands not only cheated on them, but like fell in love with each other, divorced them, got married, and like the Grace and Frankie are like trying to quote unquote get their lives back together as older women. And
was it on Netflix? It was on Netflix.
It's a Netflix show, and
yeah,
it did get to a point where I was like, I can't watch this show no more. Y'all tripping?
Oh.
Like, it's just too much.
It went off the rails.
Yeah, like all the shows that Netflix don't cancel go off the rails.
They go off the rails. Yeah, they do. I remember Zanga. It was either Zanga or Live Journal. Like you had either one or the other.
We are all showing our age right now because
I love it.
Would make sure that my brother got dysentery.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Just wow. I'm so
look.
I just
passive aggressiveness. But look, a lot of us, you know, that was our way. You know, we have access to therapy now. Back then we didn't.
Back then that was our therapy. And not only was it our therapy, but like somehow the way that we would write that stuff, like think about if you went back and read some of the stuff that you wrote, like we were always out of pocket.
Always. We were out of order.
It was like, man.
Oh gosh. But that was back when you kind of knew that whatever you said, you were ready to square up behind it though.
That's also facts because there were plenty of MySpace prompted fights when I was in school where it was like, I saw what you commented on so-and-so's picture that had me in it. Mm-hmm. You got something to say it to my face, and then insert drag.
But see, back then, like fights were fights. Like nobody showed up to fights with like, well, at least for the most part, with like knives or guns or something like that. I'm sure it happened somewhere, somehow, but it wasn't the norm.
No, I
don't have access to my MySpace anymore because I can't remember my username or password, but I really wish I could because...
Me too. Because I think the last time that I really used my MySpace account was before college.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't even know what's on there. We were programmers back in the day. Like we knew how to like...
We were coding.
Yeah, just to get our page lit. So we had the right music playing and the right background. Like, man.
Everything. Do you remember how freaking Justin Timberlake bought MySpace thinking he was going to turn it into something and then nothing happened?
We're not going to talk about how every time Justin Timberlake touches something, he ruins it.
I just want to go back to the blissful days where he just appropriated from Black culture and we believed him and everything was fine and he had curls that were permed clearly. But, you know, I just want to go back to that time, you know, Justify, you know, rock your body, cry me a river.
We just let you wear braids and that ugly jean outfit and let you get away with it because Timberland supported you. Can we go back to that?
Can we just go back to the blissful ignorance?
Because now I'm like, no, you did not follow. No, we're not leaving him alone because you know what he did? The same thing that Miley Cyrus did after she was done licking wrecking balls. So she was going to quote unquote go back to her roots, and then her roots no longer included hip hop or R&B or anything. He did the exact same thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I should have picked Lance as my favorite NSYNC. Like there was a reason why I liked Lance and not JT.
JC was always my favorite, but his career never popped off. But I thought his voice was the best. And then Justin was just the most, what is the word I'm looking for? Conventionally.
Calling his hair ramen noodles. I love
it. Kind of was. He was the most conventionally attractive. And then when he came out with his solo career, I really started liking him. But the problem is that they never recognized that once they actually decide to, quote unquote, go back to their roots, their careers failed because the Black community was the only community. You know, we were the ones that were literally keeping you lit.
Yeah.
So when you expose yourself for having used us and then you go back to your roots, like what is Justin doing right now?
He's back to R&B.
Exactly.
I've been trying to call it other things. I'm just not going to say.
He came crawling back, but now it's like the mask is off. Who's going to support him now in mass?
The people that be like, he apologized. You should just be thankful that he apologized.
Mm-mm.
You know, but the same people that
his career will never be the same because it's not enough. It's not enough support. It's kind of like Miley Cyrus.
I mean, we're not going to talk about that mess neither, because child. The ghetto. Oh, we're gonna one day he gonna get what he deserves.
I mean, I feel like he kind of already has, because now people are mad at him because of what he did to Britney Spears. Look,
Britney Spears is a whole podcast.
The chickens always come home to roost, people.
Like, that's a whole topic. Wait, what?
Really?
We gonna talk about this later, because
that album was Sleepy Time Tea. Look,
I was like, do you remember the album before that?
Sleepy Time Tea,
orchestras,
Man in the Woods,
the musicality. Like, remember when he was still appropriating us, and every one of his songs was a bop?
Look, I don't know how you go from the 2020 Experience parts 1 and 2, which was a masterpiece, to Man of the Woods.
Mirror is still a song that I randomly sing to myself when I look in the mirror. So
I'm confused. Oh God. Who's a problematic artist that you still love to listen to? I have a whole list.
Okay. Lay out your list while I try to think of somebody who's super problematic that I listen to.
I feel like almost everyone's problematic, but Kanye West. I listen to his old stuff.
Old stuff, yeah, facts.
Also, we were just talking about him earlier. John Mayer, still listen to him.
Nope.
His music is so good. Depending on which side of the line you're on, Taylor Swift, love her music.
Trash ass bitch.
Look, I love her.
With the passion of Christ, I hate that girl.
Yeah, Brittany hates her. I love her music. Me and Troy are team Taylor.
I think she's a fake feminist. I think she's a fake feminist who profits off of just being a skinny white girl who only profits when she makes music about breakups. But hey,
she's
feminist.
She is an amazing songwriter, and I'm a sucker for well-written music.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else is like very, very problematic. You know what's interesting though? I feel like the only artist that has been very much canceled, to the point where, like, at my job, we're in charge of the music, so we play whatever we want at the office. And to this day, whenever an R. Kelly song comes on, I get skipped.
Listen, the part that pisses me off about R. Kelly is the fact that, like, we've been letting him slide for so long that when we hear his songs, we start singing it, and then we go, wait, that's R. Kelly. Turn it. And it's like, I have to, because do you know how bad that is to think about how, like, we have just let him get away with so much crap that music is so turn. We have to be like, oh my God, turn it.
So, like, when the first couple beats of Ignition, you'd be like, oh, and then you're like, oh shit. Same thing with like Step in the Name of Love, like just like the bops, and you'd be like, oh no. Like the one song that I was like, maybe I could let this go because it's such a beautiful song was I Believe I Could Fly. And then I was like, I can't.
The problem with that song is that they turned it into a Christian album or a Christian song at the same time that he was molesting women. And therefore my brain can't comprehend the two.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's just like, nope, can't do it. I'm out. Peace. I'm trying to think because I do listen to Kanye's old stuff because that Kanye was fantastic.
I mean, the albums were immaculate. The music was immaculate.
Yeah, but I don't listen to him now just on principle because I'm just like, nah, sir, you're doing a lot. So I'm gonna wait for you to get your stuff together and come back. I'm trying to think.
Lady Gaga is problematic. What has she done? Somebody said her earlier. The only thing that I only listened to 2 Lady Gaga albums, and that is the Fame, Monster, and the first album she had. Everything after that to me was trash. Ooh, sorry, Lady Gaga. She had like a few good songs from her third album. Like, what was that one where she was like on a motorcycle or something? She had like a few good hits from that one, like Judas and The Edge of Glory, that album. She had a few good hits from that, but after that, I was like, girl, I can't rock with you anymore.
This part, Shane. This part.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many songs.
You remember the did you guys watch the Earth, Wind and Fire versus Isley Brothers when Zaddy Isley was out there and he did the song that him and R. Kelly were in and like he just completely skipped R. Kelly's part?
Really?
That's the kind of energy that I stand for. But yeah, Zaddy Isley. If you ain't seen what he looked like now, just Google it. His wife clearly got him hooked up. Next.
Okay. All righty then. I'm trying to think of more artists, but like
I haven't really been listening. Like I listen to a lot of soundtracks right now, and my Ratchet playlist is very extensive.
Yeah, I find that as I've gotten older, I listen to like music off of my iPod, y'all, for real. Like I don't listen, like I'll listen to like the new hits or whatever, but I don't find myself going back to them often unless, like you said, Brittany, it's like the Ratchet songs. And I'm like, yes.
Listen, every female rapper that is out right now is on my workout playlist because it's a bop for me.
Like that Cardi B song is stuck in my head.
Right now, Captain Hook is stuck in my head right now because I went to work out this morning and for some reason, I just really got through my things with that song. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Not teeth.
Not teeth.
Oh
my God. I heard the F. I heard the F.
I heard it too. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I don't want to love Drake and Future, but I do listen.
But look, every rapper is problematic, so you just kind of make peace with it.
Do we put Drake and Future on the same level?
Drake is a little bit on a higher pedestal.
Okay, because I'm like,
they're in the same arena.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I love their music for what it is. Like, there are certain Drake albums that are still like bring back so much nostalgia for me because they're so like encapsulating of a certain like very specific time in my life. Like I can listen to certain Drake albums and I just flash back to a certain point in my life.
What is the name of that song? Oh, because there was one where I just every time I hear it, I just remember being at a party with my friends and we were really lit. And for some reason, that song spoke to us on a spiritual level.
Because y'all were drunk.
You know when you're really drunk with your friends and it's like that one song that just sets it off for you. Yeah, it was a Drake song. It's like thanks,
a Drake song. So I will forever appreciate Drake. And also like I'm not gonna lie, like I do feel connected to him because I watched him grow up on Degrassi and there is like that connection as a fan of like, oh my gosh. So I just appreciate him. He's problematic as hell in his personal life, but that's his personal life.
I mean, I don't even know. I just know that he is also on my playlist. Yeah, my workout playlist is very ratchet. Like, I went from like WAP to Captain Hook to Mulatto's music to City Girls. Like last year, Spotify let me know that I listened to like one specific City Girl song.
And all those people are problematic. Like the city girls are not getting along apparently. And JT stayed opening her mouth and saying some stuff she shouldn't.
Whew.
And it's just frustrating. Mulatto, I mean, her name is Mulatto, and some of the colors she said.
If I'm not mistaken. I think she's changed her name. I'm not really sure, but She's so right though, because it be certain songs where it's just like, wait, Carisha, sweetie, the beat's here. You're over there. Bring it back.
Find it.
That is life. I support this decision with my whole chest.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I thought. I think she changed her name to Big Lotto, which is still interesting, but you know.
Can we talk about the performative activism of like artists taking the white supremacy out of their names? Like the Dixie Chicks are now the Chicks. Lady Antebellum is now Lady A. Like, what does?
Okay, can I just say this with
what does this do?
Can I just say this with my whole chest real quick? Everything about the white side of country music is built in white supremacy. So changing your name is not going to change the fact that you stole an entire genre from Black people and tried to crown it as your own, when we know for a fact y'all weren't singing about pain and torture the way that we were. So changing your name ain't going to change the fact that you stole an entire genre from us and then spend with your entire chest all the ways you can think of excluding us out of the genre that we created.
You went in?
Like, because like I love country music.
Me too.
But I remember there was one time my dad and I was banging to some Garth Brooks. Don't ask. That was before, you know.
I love Garth Brooks.
Like us and Garth Brooks are a thing. But I just remember my dad dropping me off at school and this white boy telling me that I couldn't listen to that because that was white people music. And I was like, so I told my daddy.
And then he educated you and like,
and then my daddy came to the school and set it off. So like,
oh no.
Yeah, my parents didn't play that mess.
Yeah, I just remember being frustrated when like the Dixie Chicks and Lady Antebellum, which I will continue to call them the Dixie Chicks and Lady Antebellum, were like, oh yes, we've dropped the Dixie because we understand the history. And Lady Antebellum is like, we're so sorry to participate. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I just like
nobody cares.
I'm
gonna like call you by your name.
It's the same way that like the baseball teams and football teams are changing Redskins and all that stuff. Sure, change Redskins, but remember how you literally blackballed Cap for speaking up for Black people rights? So we know y'all don't actually care.
They don't.
So changing your name is only going to remind me that you're performative as fuck.
The Redskins one,
get the name.
The Redskins one, I'm happy with because that never sat well with my soul. But okay, Dixie and Antebellum, like I don't see how.
Real talk though. What did Dixie Chicks think that they were doing when they dropped Dixie to like? Because when I was younger, I called them the Ditzy Chicks.
You did?
I wasn't smooth. I was smooth into a teenager when I realized that they were actually called the Dixie Chicks. I called them the Ditzy Chicks for the longest. So like,
that's funny.
Lady Antebellum. Oh,
I thought there was a lawsuit with the Lady A lady because I thought their name was Lady Antebellum, and then they dropped Antebellum and started saying Lady A, and then this other artist who's been going by Lady A for years, and I kind of want to say she's a Black artist, was like, hold up.
That really wouldn't surprise me.
I thought that was the lawsuit.
Interesting. We're going to have to Google this. Because what? Last Sunday was the most Black people I've seen get shot. Yes!
Because wasn't it like Kane Brown? Who else? I love Kane Brown's music.
Listen, by the way. They were still Dalmatian spots, but at least it was more than one Dalmatian spot this time.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, it's like country music is fantastic. They need to stop sleeping on it, but we do need to take that genre back.
People always are shocked when they hear that I like country music, and I'm like, I grew up in the South.
I grew up in Japan, and you know the first concert I ever saw at the USO?
What?
Garth Brooks.
That's why you love him.
Like, I specifically remember him waving to me, and I took that to heart. And my dad bought us the freaking cassette tape the next day.
I love it.
So,
I think
yeah.
My favorite country singer growing up was Leanne Rimes.
Oh my gosh, my mom loves her and Reba.
Look. Ooh, Reba McEntire is my ish. Yep,
that's my mom. That's my mama's main.
And And I still love, like, you know, the totally mainstream ones like Faith Hill and Shania Twain, but something about LeAnn Rimes just got me.
LeAnn Rimes, all I think about is like the terrible dog commercials and the starving children commercials, because that's all I hear her voice on, and I hate it. And
I just remember how, like, her personal life got super messy and that started to outshine her career for a minute.
Shout out to Cowboy Troy.
Yeah.
Man, that was
One love. One love.
Also, can we talk about that? Because Babyface is a huge country music writer.
Yes, he is.
If you look at some of his accolades, some of his biggest accolades are for country music,
which nobody knows about, and they try to keep that stuff hidden.
He broke it down during when he did his verses, you know, when he was casually sitting at his piano with candlelit Grammy Awards around him.
I love him.
Sipping his lemonade through a straw.
Really? Oh my God.
Everything about his vibe that day. But yeah, he definitely, like, he's the reason why Fall Out Boy has a couple of bops, like the big bops from Fall Out Boy, Babyface. Like,
doesn't surprise me at all.
Cowboy Troy was a bop.
I mean, did anybody actually think the guys from Fall Out Boys were writing all that stuff? Oh my gosh, Carrie Underwood. I love her.
I loved Carrie Underwood.
Wait, why did you say loved?
Because I realized Carrie Underwood has this, like, you know, like, I'm not really going to speak up about nothing. But go look at her social media one day and just tell me the vibe you get.
Republican white woman who loves Jesus. I don't know. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. Like, I'm like, at least she's authentically being herself. Like, I don't need her to be fake and performative.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have her just be who she is, a white woman who has white woman values, who loves Jesus and feels like if we just pray and all go to church together, all will be well. Like, I mean, I'm okay, girl. Those are your values. At least you're not out here trying to fake the funk. I respect her for that.
Oh, man, shout out to Bring It On.
Shout out.
Bring It On really taught us about culture appropriation before we even really knew what the term was.
I just remember as a little black girl watching that movie with my white friends from school and feeling hella uncomfortable.
Bro, the first time I watched it was with my parents, thank God, because I couldn't imagine watching that with like a mixed crowd because I was immediately infuriated. I was
literally giving them the side eye after the movie was over.
Like, I'm just like, so she rolled up in here with a camera and nobody whooped her behind?
Nobody.
Not once. She needed her behind whooped. Like, she rolling here with a camera every year and nobody beat her down.
Yeah, the thing is, I love Kelly Clarkson too. The thing is that there are these women are very much that side of republicanism that is like, we just all need to come together and love one another. And I was raised to see the content of people's characters and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, you was raised blind.
And you know what? I'm not going to argue with them. I've gotten to a point where I'm not going to argue with you. Like, after everything that's happened, if those are still your beliefs, I'm not going to argue with you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. This question, we about to have so much fun with this.
Okay, here we go.
I just want to preface this. Every Bring It On movie is racist as fuck. Let's just go ahead and start that now, because I have been wanting to randomly chat about this type of stuff for a minute. Every single Bring It On show is racist AF.
Wait, first I have to remember them. Wasn't there one with Solange?
Yes, hold on. I'm gonna give you the whole list, because the level of racism in these movies and the fact that there was like, oh my God, I will never forget the crumping in the Solange episode. In the Solange,
yes,
we have Bring It On Again, Bring It On All or Nothing. That's the one with Solange. Bring It On In It to Win It.
Is that the one with Hayden Panettiere?
The one with Hayden Panettiere is the one with Solange in it.
That's what I thought. Okay. And she was like the white girl in the black school.
She's the white girl who moves to the black school and all of a sudden gets hood. Yeah, let's not go there.
And then, of course, she was still the main character.
Houseway. Then there's Bring It On Fight to the Finish. And then there's Bring It On Worldwide. Wow, there's so many Bring It Ons.
I think I checked out after the Solange and Hayden Panettiere one.
So Solange one was the third movie. I remember, the fourth, I remember in the fourth Bring It On, so that would be In It to Win It. There's a black girl in there who like acts like she's all super ghetto and like hood rat, and then she's like, I actually grew up in the suburbs. People just called me an Oreo and I don't like it. It's like,
I remember that scene. Okay, so I did watch that one. Okay. Because I remember how like my jaw dropped in that moment because the code switching is just such a real thing.
Bro, when Christina Milian went on there, it was like very obvious that like everybody in the Christina Milian one looked way too old to be in high school.
Oh, I do think that I do.
It is the black girl from All That in that movie. Okay, so the worst. I also should preface, I never watched Bring It On Worldwide. That apparently came out in 2017.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one, but I watched the other ones because they came on ABC. Or not ABC.
ABC Family.
ABC Family, yeah.
Which is now called something else,
Freeform.
Freeform.
Yeah. So we're rating them from the best to worst. So obviously the best Bring It On is the first one.
The first one.
Without even a question. And the other ones, I'm basing this purely on how much I laughed. Like, purely from how much I laughed. So I would have to say the next one is Bring It On All or Nothing, the one with Solange and Hayden, quote unquote, crumping. Dang. I don't really remember Bring It On Again.
I don't remember that one at all, which is not good. That means it was forgettable as hell.
Yeah.
And then Bring It On, In It to Win It. I actually do remember this one. And it was actually really, really bad.
It was the one where all of a sudden they had to combine their outfits because this is my crew. And I do anything for my crew. And I was like, the amount of times that these white girls have said crew and used a lot of AAVE, but then makes fun of the only black girl in the show. This is just so bad.
So because of that, we are going to rate Bring It On Fight to the Finish with Christina Milian as the third.
Oh, yeah, because that one I laughed because of how blatant the racism was in that one.
And then Worldwide will be in last place because we never saw it. And then before that will be Bring It On Again.
Yeah.
So now that we're
funny.
Since we're
dang, you really watch these?
Oh, wow.
I did not know they became the shits.
That's a mess.
Oh my gosh, you're right. In the Bring It On, In It to Win It, there was like a scene where they were like, it was basically like a West Side Story. It was such a weird scene. I can't believe that there's this many movies. Like, they're still trying to make, like 2017, there was a freaking Bring It On movie.
I think for me, the two movie franchises that are really horrible, but I actually really love are tied, and it's the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Oh Lord.
And the Step Up franchise.
Wait a minute. I have to look because I think there are more Step Up movies than there are Bring It On movies.
I've seen every Step Up film.
Seriously?
And I've seen them multiple times.
I have only seen the first one.
They are my guilty pleasure. Like, something about dance movies really get me. Like, if there's dancing in a movie, I'm probably going to watch it. And I'm probably going to watch it multiple times.
You know what my guilty pleasure has been? Thanks to HBO? Drumline. Listen, I know that like that is a hood classic, but Drumline really sets me up. I be in there like be out here with a full march.
Wait, were you in band ever?
I was.
That's why you connect to it so much.
Oh wow. Let's see.
Oh,
okay. Yo, I remember that. And then I like somebody posted that on TikTok and then posted like all the scenes that was like, so you saw this scene and didn't think any of it. Walk to Remember is a movie I can't watch because I be in my feelings.
A Walk to anything by Nicholas. Oh, I hate him. Sparks. Any of those movies. If I have to be really in my feelings to want to watch them.
But I don't actually support Nicholas Sparks because he has this thing where he like romanticizes trauma. And I just be like, does everybody have to be traumatized to find love? Because like, no.
I don't even mind that. It's the racism for me.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was like, he takes a daily dose of racism in his coffee, and we cannot support that.
I can't do it. But I do
like Mandy Moore, so there's that.
Oh, I adore Mandy Moore. But A Walk to Remember was so good. And then I think my top 2 favorites, and then I have a third guilty pleasure, Nicholas Sparks adaptation movies. It's A Walk to Remember, The Notebook, obviously, are my top 2. And then my guilty pleasure one is the one with oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. This is gonna kill me. From High School Musical.
Troy? Oh,
not Troy, his real name.
I know. I'm about to say, I know the movie because he's like a Marine who like has a dog.
Oh, he's so fine in that movie. I can't do it.
I was like, just for this, sir, continue to not wear a shirt because I'll watch this movie the whole time. Blessings be to God for that. That was a beautiful specimen of work, and I'm only referring to him, Zac Efron. That's my guilty pleasure right now.
That's my guilty pleasure. Oh, I also really actually like the one with Miley Cyrus and that man she married and then divorced.
A Song to Remember.
Yes, Thor's brother.
I saw it on. I think it's on like Hulu or
Hemsworth.
Yeah, the baby Hemsworth.
The not cute Hemsworth.
I didn't want to say that, but
I mean it's the truth. He's not as cute as he's not. Yeah.
Bro, also I need you to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier so that we can do a Patreon podcast for that. I just had to say that now so I can remember it.
Charlie St. Cloud.
No, Charlie St. Cloud was the one where he had a brother.
Wait, wasn't that the one where he was a ghost?
Hold on. We got to figure out what is the name of the Nicholas Sparks movie that starred Zac Efron?
Yes, because that one is my ish.
Let's see.
Wasn't he a ghost in Charlie St. Cloud?
I think he was a ghost in that one.
Ooh, Twister is my ish. Whenever I'm feeling like really down, y'all, and I feel like I need an adrenaline rush, I'll either...
Sorry. Huh? The lucky one.
A lucky one. That's it. I'll either watch Twister or I'll watch any one of the Jurassic Park movies, and it just like gives me what I need. Like I need to watch things being destroyed, people being eaten by monsters, or I'll watch one of those disaster movies where like the world is ending and everybody like needs to get on a spaceship to space or like
such a weirdo right now.
Something. What?
Because like you want to know what my guilty pleasures are?
What?
Let me read them off to you.
Oh.
Princess Diaries 1 and 2.
Oh my God, I love
The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
like
you know what you're revealing? Because you're
so into a full chick flick mode when I'm like,
oh my God,
I have all of them. I own all of the major chick flicks outside of Nicholas Sparks, and I will watch them all when I feel a type of way. And ironically, a lot of them star Rachel McAdams and Anne Hathaway, which didn't really think about that till just now. And then also anything with Gerard Butler in it, I'll watch. Really?
It's so interesting to me because you're so like, oh, I don't read romance.
I don't. But then I sit on my couch in a head wrap and watch them while I do like my planner or fold clothes. Those are the movies that like after we finish this, I'm probably going to go watch Princess Diaries.
That is amazing.
It's one of my favorites. Oh, and then obviously, and this, I already know people agree with me. I watch cartoons where I think the characters are fine, like regularly. I obviously watch Treasure Planet because if you don't think the main character in that one's cute, that's you. And then I watch Lion King 2 for the soundtrack because like I love just screaming like deception, disgrace. But also Kobu's a baddie in that one.
Yes.
And so like, oh, and then I also watch The Golden Girls, Living Single. Both of those, I can watch those over and over and over again, like over and over. I don't know why, but those two series, I'm like, this is the life I thought I was going to have with my friends.
I know. They built up such expectations for us.
I'm like, maybe when we get older, we'll have Golden Girl moments. And then I was like, if I'm older and I like my husband passed away or something, like I would like to be Blanche, living her best life.
I feel sad because like my rewatchable show is hard to rewatch now, and it's The Cosby Show.
Yeah, I had to let that go quick. I let that go by watching A Different World a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, well, oh well. When the animations have me liking how characters look. You're not crazy. Sometimes animation, they draw characters that have characteristics that we just genuinely find attractive. Mm-hmm. It's just weird because it's in cartoon form. That's all. You're not weird.
Right.
Also, whenever I see comments like this, I'm like, listen, the Jafar in the animated or in the live action Aladdin was fine. Like,
he was, and that was a problem because I was like, Jasmine, is it really that bad, girl? And I was like, oh, Shalane, no.
I was like, I mean, like, okay, so Aladdin is cute too. And like, I know you like Aladdin, but like, he already sultan and he fine. Like, could it really be that bad, sis?
Exactly.
You know, I needed to like just reevaluate my life. I'm over here like, choose the abusers. Like, no, sis, Brittany, get it together. Go on a date because it's clear you ain't been on one in a minute.
Right.
Just like, oh my God. Those are my guilty pleasures. But I'm actually going to start Falcon and the Winter Soldier today because I purposely waited for the 6 episodes. I'm sure I'm going to have lots of thoughts. And also, like, I know people.
Of course there is.
Yes, I heard about that. I think Princess from Castle Library was telling me about that. And apparently it's like real erotica. Like Jasmine is all into Jafar and Jafar is very much all in her figuratively and physically.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I was like, apparently there's like a couple Disney erotica things out there. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. There it is. That's what it's called.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I've heard people talk about it. I think Castle Library on YouTube was the first person I heard talk about the erotica. And I was like, I just don't want to read about Jafar banging Jasmine and Jasmine liking it.
Yeah.
I don't want to read about this. Like
I like my Disney to either be like the innocent Disney version or like the true, actual, sinister, depraved, twisted original fairy tale version. Those are the 2 versions I like. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this.
I don't really want to read Disney fanfic. Like, I don't know why. Like, I feel like Disney itself is a fanfic.
It is.
Because there's a lot of, like, these are not, most of the older Disney are stories that had already been told. So
it's the watered down version of the original fairy tale.
Yeah. And then plus, like, there's a lot of, like, animation is getting better in the way that they tell stories, but it's like Disney. I don't want Disney fanfic. I don't want Disney dark romance. I already don't like how a lot of the Disney princesses end up finding their quote unquote husbands in the first place. So I can't imagine the fanfic versions of that. And I'm just like, no.
I think that's our cue. We're at 2 hours and 3 minutes.
I must say the 2-hour mark just clicked on my phone. This is why we put alarms, because we can randomly talk about things that make us happy for a very long time. But yeah, I hope that tonight, after just laughing about reality TV and inappropriate shows and music and all that stuff, I hope we had a moment today to kind of just laugh, and I hope that we gave you a little bit of an escape. If we didn't, just remember to, like, your peace is a priority no matter what is going on in this world. And don't let this trash ass world take that from you, because being Black is amazing. And couldn't ask to be anything better than Black.
Right. It's kind of like sometimes you have to log off figuratively and literally and, prioritize your peace, like Brittany said. Dive back into your hobbies, focus on the things that bring you joy, love, and on your family a little bit more, on your friends. Lean into the things that really spark that joy and happiness in your life and focus on that for a while.
Also, it is not our job to educate everyone. If you don't want to be an activist, you do not have to be an activist.
You don't have to repost things. You don't have to be a constant source of learning, and you don't have to always have resources and links and this and that. I mean, you're fighting a battle sometimes every day when you leave your house and you face the outside world, you face one thing or another or one situation or another. So like for me, I've just gotten to that place where it's like, if I don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to.
Right. And listen, I am not about to educate you what Google taught me for free. And I've been disconnecting a lot in this past couple weeks because I refuse to it's like, no, you are not about to torture me and expect me to educate you on why it's wrong to torture me. If I can't torture you back, what's the point? And that's my real feelings right now. And that's why I detached from the world. So protect your peace, everyone. I hope that we all have a great week. We will see you back in May, where we will have some announcements for you guys. And the book pick of the quarter of the 2 months is the Mariah Carey autobiography. So if you don't have it, like I don't have it, like I'll be going to the bookstore one of these days to buy it. It is also available on Audible.
Yes.
And also, just in case everybody wants to know, Degrassi is available on Amazon Prime. So we're going to end it here. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Bye. See you next time.